Big changes today to the state's vaccination plan means more older residents can get their shots sooner. And here to explain is Dr. Robin Colgrove, an infectious disease specialist at Mount Auburn Hospital. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, Governor Baker announcing today people age 75 and older, they can start getting shots next Monday. He also moved people older than 65 into that phase 2 group. So as you're looking at this list now, as it stands today, do you think the state is prioritizing the right groups?
Yeah, short answer, yes, but slightly longer answer is complicated. There are all sorts of things to balance against one another. The people who are most at risk, the people most likely to spread, the people most needed to provide services. So it's not an easy decision to figure out how to do this. But to a first pass, this epidemic, COVID-19, is striking at how much the mortality and the sickness is concentrated on the oldest. So yes, concentrating on the older people is probably the right way to decrease the number of deaths as quickly as we can.
To your point about this being a complicated process, the governor has been criticized for the slow pace of the rollout so far compared to other states. What do you think those other states are doing, or what are you seeing happen best practices wise that perhaps we should be doing here?
Yeah, so I should say I'm an expert on viruses and infectious diseases, but I'm not an expert on logistics and supply chain management. I only know enough to know that it's hard. And I think we should remember that the rollout is unprecedented in the scale of something so complicated being pushed this quickly. So some of this is scale. Some of the smaller states are able to do these things easier than a larger state like Massachusetts. Some of that has to do with the vagaries of supply in the federal chain. But I think a short answer is that I'm hesitant to second guess what is a very complicated process. That there's always going to be snafus there.
Yeah, and fair enough. Let's talk about this then. These new concerns tonight about the spread of these variants, especially from the UK, out of South Africa as well. Moderna says its vaccine will protect people. It's also looking at this booster shot, perhaps, for that South African mutation. What does that mean? Okay,
so now we're back in my territory, so I can answer that question. So this is what we expect to happen with viruses. They adapt, and they adapt to become more transmissible and easy to spread. That's what any kind of living thing would do. These variants that have appeared in the UK and South Africa are more transmissible, and particularly the mutation, the E484K mutation that appeared in South Africa does look like it is neutralized not as well by the antibodies raised with the current vaccines than the previous viruses. That's not entirely surprising, but one of the advantages of this new kind of vaccines that we have, these mRNA vaccines that have been approved, the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine, is they can be much more rapidly adapted than traditional vaccines. And so one analogy is that if a protein, a normal protein like the vaccine, is a little molecular machine, the mRNA is like the blueprints for that. And so it's much quicker to just change some of the blueprints and be able to inject that in and have your body do the manufacturing of the machine, than if you have to gear up all the manufacturing yourself.
Right.
So I think it's optimistic that they should be able to adapt quickly.
All right, great. Dr. Colgrove, thank you so much for your insight and your time. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.